Today we're going to be looking at seeing what the great cosmos has revealed for us through this reading. We have the Queen of Swords coming through with an air sign here for some of you. We have the Five of Coins. There seems to be some sort of energetic process that has not been met yet. You can see the Knight of Wands here, but there's a recovery coming up. So for this, we're going to be looking and seeing a little bit more deeper into the reading itself. Can we have the last card? Flipping over, we have Seven of Cups. What we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is we are observing how an energetic signature in terms of the mental capacity is going through a process of being clarified, where there was a loss once found within that which was not realized. I'm sensing that this may relate to a relationship that perhaps has not come to a full circle. For some of you, I'm also picking up that there's definitely some news coming from the outside or from that particular direction in which a lot of information will be revealed to you. Can we see a little bit more on the Queen of Swords here? Is there anything for the collective to take note of? Cards don't want to flip up, but we're seeing here Judgment here underneath the Queen of Swords whenever she is around. And she, as in the archetype of the deck, does not mean it's necessarily a feminine person, or this is energy. Energy needs to be placed where it works the best for you in your consciousness. We see that judgment has to take place quite firmly, where there's a realization of what it is that has been realized. Perhaps there has been some sort of conscious conflict that has come about, where there's a lot of swords that have been bringing in a lot of mental focus over focus here. We're also seeing here that the message that's come through from the Knight of Wands with the Hermit upside down, suggesting that information that was once hidden is now being revealed. We have it here in two ways, where the Seven of Cups is also presenting what it is that one needs to take note of. Can we see why the Seven of Cups is here? We have the King of Cups. What is the King of Cups in relation to this connection here? We can see that there's definitely a focus on some sort of emotional instability. This one came up upside down, Eight of Swords, no more. If you see that the swords are now being able to be pulled out mentally slowly, could have happened since the 8th month, could have happened since August, where you are literally now finding out that it's possible to actually recover your path going forward. Can we see a little bit about the consciousness with regards to the mental process here and how it's developing for the collective? Two came up. I will take them. We have the Five of Cups here, definitely a consolidation of something that has had to take place. Ten of Coins following the process, the situation. What we're seeing is a bridge being built over that which plays out as the background to the story that has been very much the focus on the consciousness in itself. There's the promise of happiness with friends and family, as you know, and there is also the realization that perhaps in itself, maybe the journey should be one that is invested in what has been consolidated, what it is that you know has worked for you versus what you know mentally, perhaps in the state of your, at the time, needing to put things in a logical state of awareness here. Can we see a little bit on the Knight of Wands here? What is this message that's coming to the collective? You're seeing the Ace of Swords. So we have Ace and Ace here, 1 and 1, which is 11. And 11 may speak to you. You're seeing the Angel of Truth coming through, speaking the truth to clarity, cutting that which does not work anymore, cutting you off from the past, the background story, which is not the sum of your existence, but it is really the current events and the process in which you are proceeding that must matter to you. Can we see a little bit on the next one here, on the feminine principles, the feminine side of the consciousness? You're seeing the Hierophant upside down as well, which means back, that you are coming out of hiding, you are coming into a place of awareness, Page of Swords, and the Sun. Very much clearly explaining here that you are now ready to be seen for what it is that you have seen within yourself. You have come to this realization that I'm sensing that the realization had a lot to do with certain things that were in the shadows. We will look at what the shadows will present to us in a minute. I have another deck that I will put into here so we can have a look at that. We can see that there's definitely a greater processing of hidden information. There's a realization of communication having to set itself in the right path. We know that we are starting off with the air signs here, but there's a lot of mercurial elements happening here. So there's a lot of mental focus, mental thinking, and a revealing or a revelation that will take place. I do want to see what the shadows have in store for us as well. I will use another deck. And the decks have been pre-shuffled extensively. So we were looking at what was the shadows, what was it that we had to learn, what was hidden from us. We have the Eight of Cups, and we have the Hierophant. There was a lengthy progression or a lengthy period of time in which one had been over-focused, most likely in needing to clear up certain things of what it was that one used to know. In other words, I'm seeing here that there's definitely an awareness to certain things that have been in the shadows that had to come through. I'm seeing here there's definitely a clearing up. 8 and 8 here. So we have 11 and we have 8, 8. That speaks to someone. That's very specific. If you found those numbers and you found yourself here, then this reading is for you. And just in case you've forgotten that the channel is called Cosmomancy, Cartomancy, where we observe the cosmos through the reality of the stories, of the backstories from within each and every one of us. Can we see if there's anything more as to what the Sun needs to highlight for us, what needs to come out of the shadows for us to see? We have the Four of Wands here. There's definitely a journey that has been taking place over a long time. I'm seeing that there's definitely a reflection of past life that seems to have come through as well. For some of you, I'm picking up that there's an eruption of new information that's come in. You've suddenly found that the information has become more relevant to your progress going forward, knowing that you've had to resolve obviously a lot of conflict within the Eight of Cups here, very much where where you are now sitting back and actually looking at what has been. Perhaps it's felt to you like you've wasted a lot of time. Perhaps you feel like you've been over investing in the deeper emotions of what was the crossroad in your life path back in the day. And I'm also seeing that for some of you, there may be some that have been questioning the validity of a relationship and whether it's actually been something that has been in support of you for so long, that you may have tangled yourself up into the smoke or the debris of the past events in your life path. Leading you out of this process shows Knight of Wands very powerfully steering forward, as there's definitely a growing out with grace. Ace of Swords supporting very much the Knight of Wands here, as it is a pathway through towards light, enlightenment. Four of Wands, the light within itself and the enlightenment within, illumination more so as it's coming through here. Can we see what there is, if there's some more on the Eight of Cups? Can we see what was that which was hidden? We see the Three of Cups here. There was definitely a third party or a third element that was involved. Perhaps this is someone that is recovering from a relationship, or perhaps a third party that has maybe have broken up your marriage. Perhaps I can see that there's a lot of wounds still attached to that, but based on the outcome here, we can see that the bridge has already been built, and essentially what has been highlighted for us to take note of is that you are now able to forgive yourself for feeling like you were subjecting yourself to that particular trauma. In other words, you're actually breaking out of that old cloud of mist, of that mist of healing that was there, and essentially coming out, as I said, illuminating yourself out of that passage. Can we see on the Hierophant here what we have? The Sun showing that which you've already known about. Perhaps that situation was already something that you've considered needing to clear up. It was already on the wall, the writing was on the wall, but then again, nobody likes to have the salt be rubbed in the wounds. As I hear that, this could be something that someone has said to you. Perhaps you were the person that wanted to make sure that you could see it truly for what it was for you, what it meant to you. And within this Knight of Wands here, passage going forward here is the Knight of Pentacles. Again, now the connection with regards to that which is in the heart is being formulated yet one more time, where the gift of the Pentacles, the material proof of your life path going forward, is definitely setting itself in place for you. You are essentially going through this process of recovery, and the first thing that you are given is the coin, the Knight with the Pentacle, going towards a pathway that is for you. I am seeing that for some of you, after your long heartbreak, you have had someone come towards you, and you are questioning whether that person's actually valid in your life, whether they are actually worthy, and if they are someone that you may trust, if they are worthy of your trust. I'm seeing here the Hermit upside down suggests that you can trust this Knight of Pentacles who is coming towards you in a very slow, precise, yet fiery passage going forward. We see on the Four of Wands here the message. The message is the Two of Wands. The Four of Wands is the Two of Wands. In other words, it is reconsolidating itself, coming back to a point of direction where it is two to tango, two to take the path forward. It is a sending and a receiving of a message too. In that way, it is also the consolidation of the one and the one, which becomes two as well. And within this, we are seeing that you are healing all of that conditions that you have felt, you have experienced in your past. I'm also seeing that there is, for some of you, a clarification of the conditions and under which you found yourself having had to deal with. Strong judgment here being drawn to this, where you need to have this judgment to be able to recalibrate your life path as you go through towards what it is that you seek to unearth, which is pretty much what has been going on. And yes, there has definitely been a very strong sense of illusion, especially because these particular prominent cards, the major arcanas, have come through, bringing through a lot of that, something you need to know and need to apply so that you can move forward type of idea. Can we see here as we close off this reading, the Knight of Pentacles, the Tower, This is a very powerful card, brilliantly placed within this position where you are breaking away lightning and thunder, the breaking down of an old belief system of being wounded before, where you are crossing over this bridge of troubled waters, so to speak, and you are entering into this path of illumination where you are essentially focusing on what matters to you. It's what you see and what you sense. You can trust your senses now. You know the game to play. You know that the game has rules, and you are playing these rules to the best of your abilities. The reason I brought the word game up is because it's been a theme, it seems to have been, for this reality for some time. We have the King of Cups here, definitely starting up a new pathway with the energy of having to nurture something in a particular way, finding the essence in your heart once more, finding that which is worthy to you. Overall, I can see that you are making good headway through this passage. You've had a lot of things to clear up, but I do believe that we are at the end of that cycle now, because there is light literally at the end of this tunnel, and you have literally entered this passage in the most bravest way that you've ever been able to do. And this passage for some of you could have been many years, and so it takes a lot of courage to realize that you have to define yourself with every choice that you make and with every judgment that is within you and before you. And overall, let's see the final outcome for this reading. We have the Eight of Pentacles, very well placed here. The middle section of the bridge that we have just crossed over, where you are literally on the nexus point of actually inheriting and achieving the financial stability that you have needed to require. I'm also seeing that it happens rather fast. So there's a lot of speed taking place now. So within days, things are going to start to come back onto the track again, onto speed again, and you will be back in the best capacity of your passage going through this. I'm seeing here that there's definitely a connection with someone that you have known for a long time. This connection is one that has been a long path that you've been within, but you've never been really, really lost. I mean, you've always known that there is light at the end of the tunnel, because you know that it is a rule of this reality. And within that, you also know that if you carry on going forward, doesn't mean that you're a martyr to that particular cause either. It means that you've literally set your wheels on the right track within your consciousness, and those wheels are those cogs within your thoughts that you're finally aligning to what it is that matters to you within this realm. And going through this is part of the energy that the system requires you to forfeit so that you can gain from it again. So really, this is the way that the system operates, and it has its own rules. I will leave this with you. I hope that this has been a very enlightening, clear reading for some of you. And if you like this reading, if you found yourself here, remember to click on the like button and to show your support. Thank you so much.